Hello folks, back for some more car news. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so we've got a bit to get through, so I'm not going to waffle for too long. JLR restart unclear after a month of shutdown due to hack. British firm will continue to recover from cyber attack with a controlled, phased return to car production. If you haven't seen this, there's been plenty of it in the news. Massive computer system hack at JLR, which has left them pretty much unable to do more or less anything, and left lots of companies that supply them on the verge of severe problems. There was even talk of a government bailout and all sorts of things. And that not only caused problems with getting new cars out the door, but also things like ordering parts. And it's been really problematic for dealerships and things as well, particularly for dealerships that are as busy at times as some of the JLR ones. Factory lines remain at a standstill, and JLR wouldn't comment when asked by Autocar when production would restart. Further details are still unclear, such as which factories will restart first or what target volumes will initially be. That's pretty concerning. I mean, everyone seems to be absolutely at the mercy of hackers nowadays. I've seen this firsthand in my previous life, what they can do to a business, and it's horrendous. All the stories this week, by the way, coming from Autocar and Auto Express. New Kia K4 lands in UK showrooms, priced from £26,000. The indirect seed replacement brings up to 178 brake horsepower and a manual gearbox option. Who'd have thought, right? We're in 2025 and a manual gearbox option is now a headline, or actually it's a sort of tagline, really. It's crazy, isn't it, to think the manual gearbox is somewhat of a rarity nowadays. Great for me with my dodgy knees, but it's a bit sad as well. Kia K4, the brand's indirect replacement for the previous seed, has landed in UK showrooms, priced from £26,000, and it's, very modern Kia in terms of design language, big screens inside. I saw one of these in LA last year, but there's saloons over there. Obviously, you get a lot of cars in America you'll see as saloons rather than hatchbacks. But I'm pleased to see Kia still continuing with a normal hatchback rather than just another SUV. So I think they've still got a place in the market. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Exclusive Rivian R2 EV coming to the UK. The American firm created the Model Y rivaling R2 SUV with Europe in mind. It's a good looking thing. I do like that. They've obviously been struggling financially in not so distant times, but then I think VW Group dropped about £4 or £5 billion into their lap, and they've now got obviously a very strong investment in the brand. I think they've bought it really for the technology side of things. So hopefully that means it's going to improve the VW offering and also give more people access to Rivians, because they do make some really interesting vehicles. They've got a large pickup, and I think they're working on a smaller pickup as well. And although you've got a minimalist interior, it's not quite as minimalist as Tesla. So it may placate some of the people that don't want to deal with a speedo on the central screen and want it bang in front of them, because to date Tesla still hasn't done anything to sort of appease those people. Folks, I'm not being paid for this. I've got no affiliate thing or anything like that, but I got contacted the other day by Screenwash King. Now, I don't know if you've seen these, but they're little tablets, and basically you drop one of those into 5 litres of water, or drop it directly into the Screenwash reservoir in your car and just fill that up with water, and it's going to give you 5 litres of Screenwash. And obviously that's a lot smaller and easier to store than a big 5 litre container. And you're using far less plastic, which is not a bad thing. I have stuck one of those in my car already, and the Screenwash is as good as anything else I've used. It's an all-season Screenwash. They've also given me a discount code for you. Now, the discount code is for if you buy, it's called the 2 car pack, which is, I think, $15.99. It gets you 4 of these tablets, so effectively 20 litres of Screenwash. If you use the code GYM2, you'll get that for half price. So it's basically buy 2, get 2 free, if you look at it that way. But yeah, I'm now going to keep one of those in the glove box of the car, and obviously one in the car. They've sent me a few packs of these, so I'll be using those in channel giveaways in future. I've got a members giveaway coming up soon, but from time to time I'll do sort of wider giveaways and stuff, and there'll probably be one of those in the package. So yeah, go to screenwashking.com, and the discount code is GYM2. Once again, I've got absolutely no vested interest in you doing that whatsoever. I've just done it to try and help them out. So I think it's quite a nice product. On Auto Express now, get one before it's gone. BMW Z4 orders end this year. This is sad. I'm very sad about this because I love the Z4. And I've loved every incarnation of the Z4. And it's a rare car where I think every incarnation of it, I've liked the look of it more. I'd love to get a Mark 1 3-litre Z4, but I don't know. I haven't got enough money for toys and stuff, unfortunately, as well as everything else. But it's going to stop production in 2026 alongside its Toyota Supra counterpart. If you didn't know that, the current Toyota Supra is essentially a Z4. But for the UK, you won't even have that long to get your name down, as BMW's winding down deliveries before the year is out, which is pretty sad. The Z4 is no longer shown on the BMW UK website. The only convertibles left are variants of the 4 Series, and BMW confirmed to Auto Express that while the car is still available to order in small numbers, dealerships would only be taking orders until the end of the year. So there you go, there's my public service announcement. If you want to get yourself a new Z4, you haven't got long. Rinsed at the pumps, UK drivers are paying too much for fuel. New figures show that while the cost of fill-ups continues to rise, retailers are making more money than ever. UK drivers are being asked to pay more than they should at the pumps, according to a new report from the Competition and Markets Authority. Between May and August this year, fuel prices in the UK have increased on average, with the cost of petrol rising from 1.32 per litre to 133.9. So not a massive increase, but an increase nonetheless. For context, in 2017, the margin for supermarkets was about 4%, and it's now, we're looking at 9.1%. And for non-supermarket retailers, 6.4%. And there used to be a thing where basically the non-supermarket retailers, so if you went to your Esso or your Shell or something, they'd be about 4p a litre more than it would be at Tesco, for example. And that all seems to have gone out the window. And yeah, like many things in recent years, people are turning the screw a bit more. Toyota GR Yaris Aero Performance arrives with race and rally inspiration. So this is a new version that's got a big spoiler on it, and it's £49,000. So that's £4,000 more than the normal GR Yaris. Not there is a normal GR Yaris, because they're absolutely amazing, bonkers machines. You can only get this as a manual. Obviously, they had an automatic option on the standard car. And it's also got a proper handbrake again, so you can do silly handbrake turns, because everyone likes to do silly handbrake turns when they're on a track. Toyota says that availability is strictly limited, and given regular GR Yaris didn't hang around on sale for long, you'd be wise to get your order in early if you're taken by the Aero Performance version. Deliveries begin in March 2026. Honestly, when I had the GR Yaris in not that long ago, I knew it was going to be great and fun and everything else, but it's astounding. It's a fantastic piece of machinery. It really is. New Ferrari 849 Testarossa, famous name, massive power and stunning looks. This is going to be a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 plug-in hybrid, and all that stuff combined is going to give you 1,035 brake horsepower. Pricing's still some way off being revealed, although we expect it should comfortably eclipse the £376,000 and £418,000 Ferrari charge for the SF90 and SF90 Spider, respectively. If you're desperate to get your hands on a Ferrari but don't want to wait, you can buy a used Ferrari 488 GTB for just over 130 grand using Auto Express's buy a car service. Fantastic, eh? This one might not feature in lease deals of the week, by the way, so don't get your hopes up. But what do we think of it? Let's have a look. These are obviously like artist impressions or renderings, but they look like they're actually from Ferrari. I can't find anything in this article that suggests they're not. I mean, it's a striking looking car, but the original Testarossa for me looked, I don't know, more unique than this at the time. It really was a special thing. And this just looks like another Ferrari. I mean, that front end is incredible when you look at it head on. But I don't know. I'm not sold. Mazda MX-5 designer Tom Matano dies aged 76. Tom Matano shaped some of the most iconic Mazdas in history, main one being really the first gen MX-5. And you only have to look at the legacy that car's had. There are still thousands of them around the world being used as track cars. There's a huge aftermarket industry based on that car. And that only really ever happens when a car has sort of touched people a bit. He also got involved in lots of other projects, of course, including things like the RX-7 and RX-8. I'm sure he could look back on his life's work with a bit of pride, because he's certainly left a mark, hasn't he? New BYD Shark 6 is coming. This is their new pickup. It's going to be a plug-in hybrid only, and they really want to take on the Ford Ranger. Now, the Ford Ranger's a great pickup, but my God, if they had some reliability issues. Really silly little things as well. And I've got two friends with Ford Rangers, and both of them have nothing but issues. The load capacity, towing capacity, load length, all that sort of stuff is a little bit better in the Ford Ranger than it is in the BYD. So they've got that to contend with. And obviously it's also a less familiar badge. There'll be lots of people that have always had Ford pickups, and they'll just get another Ford pickup. So I think they've got their work cut out, and it needs to be very good. But from what we've seen from BYD so far, they seem to be able to deliver. I've got the new 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 in for review this week, so a little bit of a different one coming up for you. New Denza B5 confirmed for the UK. Land Rover Defender rival, part of three-pronged attack on Mercedes and BMW. Denza is another BYD brand, or a sister brand, but it's very premium. And this big monstrous SUV is going to be a plug-in hybrid, which is going to have a dual-motor super hybrid system. And a 1.5 petrol engine, which sounds a bit weedy, but I'm guessing the hybrid side of it is going to be fairly lively. It's going to pump out 677 brake horsepower and 761 newton meters of torque, which is more than any Defender, including the almighty V8 powered 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁. It's got locking differentials, modes for various terrains, for going off-roading. Yet thanks to a 31.8 kilowatt hour battery, it should also boast a pure electric driving range of around 50 miles. The off-road capability is incredible, they say. So there you go. We're starting to see the Chinese manufacturers coming over here now, not just for these sort of mainstream, almost cookie cutter type vehicles, but they're now going after the niches as well, and certainly look like the premium side of niche. I think it's only just beginning, folks. We've then got the new Changan Deepal S05, which will come to the UK to take on the Kia EV3. I did a video on this at the Munich Motor Show, which has had like loads and loads of views. If you haven't seen that, have a little look, have a poke around in it. It's got a huge frunk. It's the biggest frunk I've ever seen. It's like 160 litres or something. It's bigger than the boot on some cars. They really want this to take on the Kia EV3, so I guess it's going to be in that kind of pricing ballpark. Obviously, I didn't get to drive it. I saw a man pull a sheet off it and then sat around and had a poke around in it. But it was impressive, like very impressive. And Changan have had a UK R&D centre for years, so they seem fairly confident that they'll be able to develop the car and tweak it to sort of suit the UK roads. So interesting stuff, and that was a pretty impressive car. A new Audi A3 e-tron inspired with retro look and A2 body. It does look a bit like the old Audi A2. Those wheels look a bit Tesla to me. Audi's not been shy about its forthcoming C-segment EV, but what we can say for certain is that this won't be an A3-like hatchback with an electric powertrain. So I guess that means it's going to be a ground-up EV, which is usually the best way to go, rather than when they pull the engine out of something and shove some electric motors and batteries in. Audi already uses this relatively compact platform for its Q4 e-tron, but the A3 e-tron's due to be a step lower in terms of size, giving buyers an electric car alternative to existing ICE-powered A3. More news on that as we get it. But that's it for this week, folks. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And have a good weekend. Catch you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.